Okay, so I'm Melody Harper. I'm sure most of you know who I am. If you don't, then I wanted to introduce myself to you. I have been with Pampered Chef for 5.5 years now, and I started Pampered Chef 5.5 years ago because I wanted to be able to stay home with my children. I had taught for 7 years. I had went back to teaching when I had my firstborn, my son, and then when I had my daughter, my middle child, I decided it really wasn't going to be, worth half of my teacher's salary putting two kids in childcare. And so at that point, I was looking for something part-time to do. I had no clue what, because all I'd ever done was teach. And so I was just looking for something kind of part-time, just extra cash. And I went to a Pampered Chef party. And 5.5 years ago, virtual parties were not an option. So cooking shows and catalog shows were really the options that you had then. And so with at that cooking show, I had already had a lot of the products. And so I was telling all my friends, you got to try this. This is amazing. And the consultant was like, well, why don't you sign up? You know a lot about these products. And so I decided to give it a shot. And that was 5.5 years ago. And at that time, my goal was an extra $500 a month. And I did that my very first month. So then I thought, okay, well, let's see where this business can take me. And in the 5.5 years, I've earned 5 trips with Pampered Chef. And so we've got to travel all over. And I got to take my husband and we got to take my kids to Disneyland. And so the blessings of this business have been huge. So that's a little bit about why I started and a little bit about me, but I'd like to know a little bit more about you. So let's start with Kayla. Can you tell them how long you've been in the business?
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. I'm Kayla. I have been in the business almost 2 years now. I'd never been to a Pampered Chef party before. I went to my first one with Roxanne Merchant. She was on my team. And she said here the same thing kind of Melody saying, going on and on about how great Pampered Chef was. It wasn't something I had ever thought about. I did not go to the party thinking I was going to become a consultant. Taxes were coming up, and that was a bit scary because we were going to owe a lot. So that was really the only thing in my mind. And I looked at her and said, well, have you ever thought about doing it again? And she was like, I kind of do. And it just kind of put a bug in my ear. Melody did my first show, and I signed up after that, and the rest is history. I fast-tracked to director last March, and an advanced director this year. So it's been a huge blessing to my family. I now get to stay home and take care of my sweet babies too. I was a teacher as well. So we went on my first incentive trip this year, completely paid by Pampered Chef. My husband and I just went ourselves. So it's been great. Absolutely changed our life. So I don't have any regrets. And I feel very blessed that I get to bring this business and this opportunity to so many other people as well.
Yay. Thank you, Kayla. All right, Tamara, what about you, dear?
I had to find the unmute. I have been with the business since February, since the end of February. Yeah, I don't know. I signed up under Kayla, and I signed up, right, mostly just for the additional income. I have 2 kids that are in college, and I had fun just at the party that I did, which we did a virtual party, and I loved the products, and she is just good at what she does. She was like, you did really good, right? She's really good at it. And just really kind of, I was like, I could do this. And it was really easy to host my own party. And then I was just like, I could do this. And so becoming a consultant really was easy. And, hitting that first 1250, that first 30 days, and then you you get that bug of just being greedy, of hitting the 1250 and then hitting that 1250 and hitting that 1250. And then it's like that free product just keeps coming and rolling in, and that was just the one thing that just kept me at it. And then just seeing everybody at your own shows get that greediness too is just amazing. And just being able to share the product with everyone is just a blast. And that's why I keep doing it. It's just having everyone, come back to you saying, I had a blast, I had fun, I'm loving my products, is kind of what keeps you going and keeps you motivated.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm loving it.
Absolutely
Loving it.
All right. Thank you, dear. All right, Sarah, can we hear from you?
Sure. Sorry, there's a bug flying around my head and it's about to drive me nuts. Atkinson, I signed up with Kayla in August.
August.
My launch party was a huge success, and be awesome. And I was like, oh yay! And then I got my first paycheck, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is kind of exciting. I had a really slow September, but got a couple parties booked for this month, and so now I got into this to try to help get us through that. So
Awesome. Well, you weren't the only one that had a rough September, so here's to a better October, right?
yes.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you're on here, Sarah. I don't know if I've ever actually met you on a call yet, so I was excited that you're on here. So,
Nope, this was my first one. So
cool, awesome. All right, Miss Tammy. Maybe.
there we go.
There
I had to.
You're jumping on the page too. I was like, oh, where'd you go?
I started, actually, it's been a year, and I started under Melody, and I started for the extra income, and because I liked Pampered Chef, and I have products, and my ultimate goal at this point is to stay home, and this will be my full-time income. So we love what Pampered Chef has done for us. We just keep moving forward and going towards those goals and chasing Melody's pretty, but those are the ultimate goals. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Tammy. All right, Lynn, tell us a little bit about you.
My name's Lynn. I signed up in August under Christy. September was okay. October is killing me, so I'm not having much luck. So hope for a better rest of the month.
Yeah, we'll get to that and hopefully maybe get you some things to help get you going here. So you signed up in August. Awesome.
I did. Christy asked me to host a party. I hosted, and then she signed me up. So I have a lot of Pampered Chef stuff already, and hope to get more.
Awesome. Absolutely. All right, Christy. Maybe. Christy, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm retouching my phone too many times. I have been with Pampered Chef almost 10 months. I started as a kitnapper. All I wanted was the kit, and I didn't have my first party for 45 days. Had my first party just to be active, and then my first recruit recruited themselves to my team, and I kind of felt obligated, and so I decided to go for it. And I went for director in May, promoted June 1st. I quit my job September 1st to do Pampered Chef full time, and we have a team of 12 so far.
You are rocking it, dear. I'm so proud of what you're doing. She is a prime example of someone setting goals and going for it. You know, she decided to quit her job. So she Pampered Chef full time, as Kayla and I both did, and she is really reaching her goals and working very hard.
Totally crushing it.
Yeah, she's doing very, very good. So, and you can tell because anything we throw at her to do, you know, this group, you know, this, you know, she's like, okay, got that done, you know, and you can tell in her business that she is doing the work that is needed behind what she is accomplishing. So I'm proud of you, Christy, for all your hard work. So, okay, so I want to get us started here. Now, there is going to be 4 calls, basically, is how this new consultant training works, okay? So this is the first call, and then I'm going to be offering the second, third, and fourth call. I may do them this week at some point because next week I have parties. This week is fall break, and we're not going anywhere. So I may just knock it all out this week, and what ones you guys can be on is great, and I'll probably record them as well. And so the reason that we're kind of doing this again, and I know some of you have heard my new consultant training before, but Home Office just came out with a new consultant training, and it's 4 different calls. And what we have found, you know, as what Pampered Chef has found and what we kind of have found in our organization is everyone's, you know, okay about doing this first call, you know, kind of let's get some bookings on the calendar and stuff. But what happens is everyone gets their bookings and then maybe they don't know how to host coach very well, or maybe they don't know how to get bookings from their shows very well. And so they do these first few parties and then they have a little bit of trouble once you're out of those first few parties is keeping the parties going, okay? So that's where we're hoping with these 4 trainings, you know, because one of them is going to be, you know, some on host coaching and, you know, talking about, you know, how your parties are going and stuff. And so I'm hoping that this training will help further people in their business and have more success in the long run. So that's kind of why we are going back and looking at this training again, okay? Because I have talked with all of my directors. We're kind of on the same page as far as moving forward and training our teams, you know, so we want to be sure. And if any of you at some point get someone on your team, we want you to know how to train them as well, you know, with the help of your director. So our goal is just to have a unified new consultant training, you know, and if you don't know, you know, what you're doing, you're not going to know, you know, if you're maybe new yourself. And so it will be good, you know, to have your director or I, you know, to kind of help you through the process, you know, once you know, do get your first recruit. So with that being said, I want to ask you all, what is super important about this business is kind of knowing, and some of you kind of said it a little bit, but why you started Pampered Chef. You know, why Pampered Chef and not something else? You know, what are you able to get out of Pampered Chef when you first started? So, and maybe the reason why you started may not be the same. Your why may not be the same right now. You know, maybe why you started may be a little bit different than what it is right now. So I started to be able to stay home with my kids. 2 of my kids are now in school, you know, and my little guy is still at home with me. But, you know, over the next couple of years, you know, my why may change a little bit because I'm, you know, once all my kids get in school, then the reason, you know, that I continue to go and try to be successful, you know, is going to be, you know, we are getting ready to build a house. And, you know, my husband would love it at some point, you know, to be able, if I was making an income where he could just start his own business, you know, and we've had talks and dreams about stuff like that, you know, so why I started may eventually change, So I would love to hear a little bit, because our why is what drives us in this business. Knowing why you started and why you stay, that's what keeps you going when you have, a host that really doesn't do that great of a job on their virtual party, or you have, a party that cancels, and you're just like, man, this is so frustrating. You pick yourself back up and you keep pushing on, because you have a goal. And so, Kayla, tell us a little bit about why you continue to do Pampered Chef.
Yeah, so kind of like how I mentioned in the beginning, was that the kit was too good of a deal to pass up. And Melody had mentioned just the tax incentives and the tax breaks you get being a business owner and running a business like this. So that's kind of how I started it. But the reason I continue it is not only because of the the income I now make with it and all of the incentives as well, but in the freedom, the freedom to set my own schedule, to be home with my kids. All of those are definitely big bonuses that I wasn't getting before, but it's that now, I'm no longer teaching pre-K, but I'm still teaching, I'm still helping people and getting to see all the people that we come across and change their lives and make a difference. There's just nothing better than helping others. And that's been my true why, my true passion that I've discovered over this past 2 years is being able to help others and what this business can bring to them. So that's what keeps me in it, is knowing that whether I'm just getting a customer a solution to help in their kitchen, or I'm helping a host get free products, or I'm helping a new consultant pay bills, whatever it is, it's just such a blessing to get to bring that to other people. So that's become my new why in this business for sure.
Love it. Awesome. All right, Tamara, what about you?
Pretty much the same thing. It's just, I think, building the relationships, I think, is what keeps me going. Like, I wanted the extra income. I switched departments at my job. So I kind of needed to build that back up, and then 2 kids starting college. But now, like, just the relationships that I've gotten to build, the friendships that I've gotten to build, I think really keeps me motivated. And then just, like, one of them just got married, so I got to see pictures of her wedding and things like that. And so I think that really keeps me motivated, just to keep reaching out to people and getting to meet new people, because part of my thing is the anxiety. I won't do I will eventually maybe try the cooking shows. I won't say I won't. I tried one and it did not work well. But, reaching out to the people, with the same anxiety that I have, I think has been really great, and trying to recruit them to show them that you don't have to do the cooking shows. But to get to meet those type of people and have the same issues. And that's kind of what's keeping me in. But then eventually I know my why will change again, is so that I can go out on the road and travel with my husband. So I know it's going to change again. Mm-hmm. So it will continually change, I think.
Yeah. So. That's awesome. And just knowing, that you know your why, and even if it is changing, you still have a plan. And so that's great.
And I want your paycheck, so.
Exactly. What about you, Sarah?
So mine was just, I got into this just basically for the financial freedom. I mean, I eventually want to buy or build a house instead of renting a house. So, that, was my biggest thing. I, talked to my husband about it, and I was like, okay, so if I do this, I'll give it 9 days. And if I succeed, I succeed. If I don't, then oh well, I got some more Pampered Chef. I'll just add it to my cup. No big deal.
Right.
But that's basically mine in a nutshell. I mean, I'm a foster parent, and so I'm a foster parent, and I work a full-time job, and so my full-time job is a very demanding full-time job, and so I don't feel that I've been able to give Pampered Chef my full attention lately. with everything that I've got going on with my kids and with my job, I would like to work more towards that. So I don't know.
Awesome. Well, very good. Very good. All right, Tammy, what about you?
My why was really the extra income, and getting into it, I've really seen what it can do. So my why has changed a little bit to be able to definitely be able to stay home with the kids. And so that is my why at this point, is to quit. I actually walked into my boss today and I looked at her and I said, "You know that I'm working on leaving, correct?" And she just looked at me funny and she said, "Okay, so what can I do to help?" So, so my why is definitely to be here and not work the crazy hours and make the time for everything. So,
what a supportive boss to say that rather than, all right,
right.
hit the road, Jack, if that's how you feel.
Right. Well, she knew that I was signing up for Pampered Chef in the beginning. And so she knows that I'm doing it. She knows what I'm doing. So when I said that today, she was like, "Okay, so how long do I have with you?" I was like, "I don't know. We'll see where it goes." But she knows. And it's been a rough couple months there. So I was just like, I'm fed up.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to be able to control my own schedule. If I want to work 100 hours a week, then I can do 100 hours a week doing something I love, not working for somebody else and not getting compensated for it all.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. All right, Lynn, what about you?
Basically, I just want to help supplement our my family's income, just so we can do, some extra things. We got a phone call we've been dreading for years today, that I think we're going to have to make a trip back to Oklahoma here in the next few weeks, and not sure where we're coming up with the money, and I don't want to have to, be like that. So just help, in emergencies and different things, have the extra income coming in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just to have that comfort that you have the money if some things do.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Miss Christy, what's your why now?
Well, it started out with the kit. As of the end of August, it changed a lot because I was stressed out over being sick, just staying sick and dealing with a boss that was having a hard time with me being off. And so, but now it has changed a little more because my husband decided, since I was going to do my own thing with my business, that he wanted to try it now too. And so being at home makes it easier. I can still go to all my kids' stuff and I don't miss anything because I have this schedule. I help my husband with his job now because I can sit at home and do the paperwork while I'm here doing mine. And whether I'm sick or not, I can still work my business. And I think it really hit on helping others, especially this last week. I had a lady that I've been talking to. She's actually been in one of the groups wanting to sign up, but she was just trying to get the money and stuff. She got her kit credit last month, and we had been talking, and then she messaged me. Was it yesterday? I think she messaged me yesterday and told me that she didn't think she was going to get to sign up because she just found out that her last day at her job of 5 years is going to be the 20th. They were letting her go. And I told her that now's the time to do it. It sounds like this was the answer, is what she was, to me, that's got to be a sign. This is what her plan was, and she doesn't have a job that's going to stand in the way.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to get to help her, and hopefully it'll work out, and that's what she's looking for.
Awesome. That's very cool. That is so much why I share this business. I mean, obviously I have been blessed way more than I ever, expected with Pampered Chef. but also the amount of people that have been able to quit their jobs and stay home, for whatever reason, is just amazing. People have retired and, are doing this, just for something fun now. And so I just love being able to offer the business to others and having it bless their family as well. And that's why I continue to share it with every host and every party, no matter what I have going on in the party. So what I want to for you guys to check out, and I have it here. This is called the New Consultant Action Plan. And even though you guys aren't necessarily new, this would be something that we are going to send, the new consultants on our team. And it's something that it would benefit you guys to fill out at this point as well. So, it says pay back my kit investment fast. When do you want to make that happen by? And so if you've already made that happen, that's great. If you still haven't made that happen, when do you want to do that by? You want to earn cash. What kind of cash do you want to earn in your first 30 days, your first, 90 days? Like I told you guys, my goal was $500. That I had no clue, beyond that, what I was going to be able to make with this. So setting, and even, if you guys have spouses or whatever, talking with them. Kayla, that's a little creepy. I see her dark eye. But talking, and saying, hey, what would help our family every month? What kind of income, would make it where I could stay home, or where we can pay this bill every month, or we would have that extra money, when things came up, that we needed it for. And so kind of knowing that as a plan, you can kind of figure out, how many shows you need to do each month to get that. So on here, and this is something, guys, that you can start now doing. It says month 1, month 2, month 3. How many contacts, how many parties did I have, how many new consultants, how many PC bucks, did I earn? So you can kind of figure out, because some of you are still in your 90 days, so you can kind of keep track and figure this out. And so this is under, if you go to PC University, okay, it's going to be in there. But also, if you want, either your upline can email it to you, or I can email it to you. So if you message me your email, I can send you this new consultant action plan. Because just like I said, not only is it going to help you, but say you do get a new consultant on your team, you're going to know what this looks like, because this is one of the first things that you send to a new consultant once they join the business. Okay, so so they can kind of figure out their plan in the business as well. So we kind of talked about, I have no desk here, by the way. I'm throwing papers on the floor because I can't be at my desk. So another thing, do you guys know what this is, the launch list? Have you guys seen the launch list before? Nope. Okay. So the launch list is another way to kind of say the Frank's list, which I know if I say Frank's list, does that ring a bell to any of you? Still, I've got some. Okay. All right. So that's why we're doing this call. Right there is why we're doing this call. So I want to, launch list is also.
If anybody's looked at that, looked at their book that comes in their kit, it has the launch.
It's in that. It is in your book. That little book that you got in your kit. The launch list is in there. It is. But it's also, if you go to PC University, you can print out your launch list. One of the tabs, if you go to PC University and you click start now or whatever, and then you can go to your launch list. So basically, it is thinking through friends, relatives, your associates, your neighbors, and on here it has holiday greeting card list, digital contacts, which obviously that's going to be the people that you know through Facebook, community connections. So things like your hairdresser, your dentist, and then I like to do people that I know because of my kids. My son's in soccer, my daughter's in gymnastics and dance. So there's these different things that I'm at every single week with all these different parents. Some of the soccer parents have thrown parties for me, but also, I have passed catalogs out at the kids' dentist office before. So anything, and my daughter's teacher signed up to sell Pampered Chef, so clearly I'm doing my job there. But talking with a business, with whoever, whoever you are coming through contact with. So if you're in a place now where you're like, man, I haven't gotten, bookings. I need to get some more bookings on my calendar. Let me tell you what sometimes happens as a new consultant. Okay. So we focus really hard on booking a certain month. And so we get these bookings and we plan this month out. And then what happens is we focus so much on that 1 month. Then we get to the next month and we're like, oh, I don't have anything on my calendar for this month. And so then we kind of go through that month and we may throw a few things together, but then we focus really hard on November again. And we get all these bookings, we pack them into November and we hold November. And then we get to December and we're like, oh, dang it, I focused so much on November, I didn't really book anything for December. And you start this roller coaster with 1 month strong, 1 month not. 1 month strong, 1 month not. So as you guys are getting bookings and looking ahead, I encourage you to start booking 2 months at a time rather than focusing just on 1 month, okay? Because if you can kind of get that mentality, here comes my little guy. Then does your daddy know where you are? I know you're right here. Can you go see daddy for a little bit? No. Yes, baby. Hey, mommy's on a phone call. Okay, mommy's on a phone call. Okay. So focusing, on booking, those 2 months at a time is really going to help you in your business. Okay, really, really will. So if you have not made a Frank's list ever or your launch list, like I said, you can go on PC University and you can print it off there, or you can literally just write the acronym Frank's on the side of your paper and, start with your friends. Okay, it's always good to start with your friends, but the reality of your friends is sometimes they're not going to be the ones that say yes. Okay, so if you do, you list, and this launch list has 4 in each category, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it has 10 categories with 4 in each one. So it's about 40 people. The thing I like about the Frank's list is it is 18 people. So it's not quite as overwhelming as, let's say, the launch list. Instead of coming up with 40 people, you're kind of starting out with 18. So maybe he's leaving. I was going to text my husband and tell him. No, he's not leaving. Hold on. So whatever you want to do it, Frank's list is friends, writing 3 friends down, 3 relatives down, 3 associates, and maybe you don't have a job right now. Okay, maybe it's 3 people you used to work with, or maybe in Tamara's case, she switched departments. So maybe it's people that you worked with in your other department, even if it is a new department, okay? Neighbors. Okay, I always tell, my new consultants that when I did my first party at my house, I invited, lots of different groups of people. And one of the people that came to the party was one of my neighbors. didn't know her real well, so she decided to host a party. And she had 9 people, I think, come to her show. And of those 9 people, 5 of them booked shows with me. And literally, they were different people that I didn't know. So from this one party, I got 5 bookings. Okay, so you never know. I could have just decided not to invite my neighbors that I didn't really know, but I thought, why not? Everyone likes to eat food. Why not invite everyone? And so, so just know that even your neighbors, even if you don't know them very well, they could possibly be your next party or your next order or whatever. Like I said, for your kids, and then I've got some feedback on my mic. Can the rest of you hear feedback? Is it echoing? A little bit crackly. I wonder if it's because I have no room for my papers. I'm sitting in a chair, resting my arm out. So maybe my papers set up. Is that better if I don't have my papers on there? No, better? Okay. All right. I'll just throw them in the air now. So if you have not made a Frank's list before or went over a launch list and really sat down and thought through people that you could have parties for, now's the time to do that. Okay, because some people are like, okay, I'm just going to ask these 2 people. They get going in their parties, and then they never really get to their list. I have several people I know that are like, well, I haven't even actually went through that list yet because people just started having parties for them. So if you never have honestly sat down and went through a list of people that you can start contacting, now is a great time, to do that. So making your list, going through it, and knowing that not everyone is going to say yes. You are going to hear no is one of the hardest things, especially for new consultants. And so what I encourage you guys to do is to set your own goals. Have your party goals. How many you want in a month. No one else can tell you what that goal should be. But I encourage you guys to make that goal and know, okay, here's what would help my family and here's what I feel comfortable with doing in a month, and go for that, book those parties and work through that. Now, I don't know did you guys see the post that I posted just a little bit ago? It was another post from Steven, who is on that Crushing It Virtually, and he posted just something that he's putting in every party, rate Pampered Chef. Are you a Pampered Chef consultant? Do you love Pampered Chef? Want to know more about it? Love free products, and so it's something that he's trying in every party, to get more bookings, so I think that's a great idea. And if you are needing some help getting bookings in virtual parties, go to that post that I just made, because I said on there, if you would like the information for the Crushing It Virtually, comment me below and I will send you the link for it. Okay, so the Crushing It Virtually was an amazing virtual training that we did with some other leaders, and it started with bookings. Okay, how to get bookings. So if some of you are struggling with bookings, click on this link, and the very first, and I was in charge of the bookings day, so click on that bookings information, and I gave several tips on how to get bookings, okay? Then we're not going to really discuss it on this call, but we're going to get to host coaching, and then you can also watch host coaching you can watch a video of someone actually doing a virtual host coaching call, okay? So that is really, really good, information as well. So with
Melody, can I share something I heard today?
You sure can.
Okay. In a training I was in today, I heard something really interesting I wanted to share with you guys. They said, think of when you're offering hosting or even offering the business to someone, think of it like you're offering them a piece of gum. Sometimes we just get so worked up and thinking that this is a really big deal when it really shouldn't be something that you get worked up over. It's like, if you think about when you're offering a friend or even a stranger a piece of gum, you like that gum and that it's got great benefits for chewing the gum. But do some people sometimes say no when you offer them a stick of gum? Maybe it's not the right time to chew gum. Maybe it's not the right flavor for them. And when you think of it like that, do you get your feelings hurt when someone says no, thank you to a piece of gum? It's the same thing. And so if you really think about how many people you're offering that piece of gum to. You know, it's the same thing. Maybe one in, what would you say, Melody? 1 in 6 or 1 in 10 people that you offer it to are likely to say yes. I know with doing the business, that's the number, but you know, it's the same thing. If you're not hearing no, then you might not be asking enough. No is not something just something you're going to hear on Pampered Chef. No is something we hear in our lives and everything that we do. So it's not something that you should take personally. It's just that it's a no, not right now, just like it would be no to a stick of gum. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting way to think about it.
I like that analogy. But it's true. I'm always offering people pieces of gum, and I'm not offended if they tell me no. So that is very true. So when you are reaching out to people, try to take you out of the equation. Okay. So when you are talking to these people and you are, asking them to book parties, tell them, I thought about you because. Okay. I thought about you because you love to cook, and you could get so many free products by hosting a party. What do you think about, inviting some of your friends on Facebook and getting some products for free and any one item at 60% off this month? Okay. Or I thought about you because I know that you run crazy all week with little kids, running them to practices everywhere, and you can make fajitas in the microwave in 12 minutes. What do you think about getting some of your girlfriends together and I can show all of them how to make a meal in 12 minutes? So the first thing you said was, I know that you're busy. So the first thing they come back and say to you is not going to be, well, I'm really busy. Well, yeah, we established that. So that's not going to be a response that they have. Okay. So a lot of times I like to say, I know that you're busy, or maybe you messaged them, they saw it and they didn't message you back. I hate when that happens. Okay. So what you can say, wait a couple days, message them back and say, I know you're super busy. I've been really busy too, but I just wanted to double check and make sure you saw my message. Okay. So how many of you have reached out to people, but then turned around and reached out to them again? Okay. So sometimes when you don't get a response, there's several times I'm checking through my Facebook, I'll look at the message, but I'm right in the middle of doing something. So maybe I didn't have time to chance. And then I just forgot to go back. I have to purposely go back through my messages every day and make sure that I responded, to all of them. Because sometimes when I see them, I may be in the middle of something. So same case. So think about these people that just didn't respond back to you. If you would have just let them go and never say anything back to them, that could have been someone that completely just forgot to respond. Okay. And they may say, oh, thank you so much for touching base with me again. I did see your message. I am interested in, having a party. What do you have open? So just because maybe they saw it and didn't respond doesn't mean that you shouldn't follow back up with them again. So definitely follow back up. But the wording choices, saying I thought about you because takes you out of it. So if I say, I'm really just trying to get some parties on my calendar and I just, I'm really needing some of these extra parties. What do you think about having a party for me? I have this really big goal I'm trying to get. Well, that makes it all about you, and they're thinking, gosh, I just don't have the time right now to have a party for her. Okay. So, their response, they may not respond at all, or their response may not be what you want. But if you, say, I thought about you because, no one's going to be offended about the fact that you're thinking about them. Okay. So those are just some key words to remember when you are reaching out, to people. Now, and if they say no to you, okay, it could be because they don't want to vacuum their house, okay, if it's a cooking show. Or they could say yes to you because they're like, yes, I get to kick my husband and the kids out of the house. I get to vacuum and I get to go shopping, okay? So you never know, why they may say yes or why they may say no, okay? They may have something going on in their life right now, health-wise, family-wise, that they can't do it right now, and they don't necessarily want to tell you the reason why, but it may just be no. And it's not anything against you. They just may not want to do a party right now. So just keep that in mind and try not to take, offense when people do say no. And I do respond again to them if they just did not answer me. So what I want you to think about is, I always think, especially if you're reboosting, trying to reboot your business, or if you are getting started, I think it's important to have 4 parties in 4 weeks in 4 different circles of friends plus 2 launch parties. Have you had your own launch party yet? When was the last time you had a party yourself? I'm encouraging everyone this month to have a party themselves. Everyone. And if you have someone on your team, encourage them to have their own party. Okay, because it's any one item in the catalog at 60% off. Okay, what I did my very first year when that special came up, I went and bought the knife block for my husband for Christmas. See how I did that? Get it for your spouse for Christmas. Okay. He was like, "Oh, thanks for the knife block. I'm sure that you're going to benefit from this as well." I'm like, yes, I will. But you can do your own party. You can get, a skillet. You can get the rock crock, whatever it is that you have wanted. Our discount personally is never going to be 60% off. Okay. Plus, you're going to be making money off your own party. Okay. So either get some friends together at your house. If you've never had a cooking show, they are so much fun. Okay. And they don't have to be a full-blown demonstration party, if you're getting some friends together. Okay. You could make an appetizer of some sort. You can have a wine, cheese, and chocolate tasting, and have some wine for them to taste, and just have a girls' night where you invite some friends over. Okay. I encourage everyone to give it a shot and just to see, even if you signed up for virtual parties, cooking shows can be really fun too. And you don't have to do them all the time. You can just do them however often you want. But if you've never had your own, okay, that is a great way to get more bookings, okay? Because you have these people to your house, they have fun, okay? And then they're going to want to have more fun, okay? So it's a great way to talk about getting bookings if you have people over, okay? So you can also do one virtually if you want. If you haven't done one in a while, you can give it a shot to do one virtually as well. But do it in 4 different parties. So when you're thinking about your launch list, your Frank's list, and you're going through each of these lists, be sure that you're doing it in 4 different groups, okay? Your church group, your soccer group, your friends, in your neighborhood, or whatever it is. Be sure that you're working in 4 different groups, and you're working to get at least 4 parties that month. Okay. And then if you have 1 or 2 yourself, then that's going to be even better. That can be, 6 parties that you're working towards in a month. And you can decide when you want to do them, if you want to run 3 at the beginning of the month and 3 at the end of the month, or if you want to have, a couple cooking parties and do 4 virtual. I mean, it's your schedule. It's whatever you want. But I encourage, when you're reaching out to these people, to think out of different groups of people. Okay. So just know that as well. Now, when the next thing that I want to encourage you guys to do is, 1, I want you to complete that action plan that I was talking to you about. Message me your email, and then I can send you the action plan. And that is something that, no matter how long you've been in the business, that's something that you can fill out, okay, and kind of know your plan of action. And then also work on a launch list. If you've never done a Frank's list or a launch list, okay, do one. I remember when I first started, it was a list of 100 people. Okay, I did not get through 100 people, but I started making my list. And as I came to kind of these low parts in my business where maybe my bookings, I wasn't where I wanted to be that month, I would go back to that launch list and I would start pulling people that I had not contacted yet. Oh, I haven't actually reached out to this person. Maybe I'll give them a shot now. So that launch list is kind of there to help fill in those gaps for the months that you may not have as many bookings as you want to. So fill out your launch list or your Frank's list. And then I want you to do the bookings course on PCU, okay, which is PC University. So go to PC University and take the bookings course. Okay, if you have never taken the bookings course, I want you to take it. Okay, and then send me a message or send your upline a message when you took it. Okay, So those are kind of the things I want you guys to do before our second call. Okay, and the second call we're going to be talking about, host coaching, and a couple other things, that are going to help you in your business. And so I encourage you, if you want that Crushing It Virtually document that has, it is a wealth of knowledge all in one document. Okay, for everything that you need to make your virtual party successful, is in that document. I really do mean that. So, so comment me on that post, because I'm going to send everyone it at the same time. And then do that bookings course, fill out your Frank's list or launch list, and then we'll work some more on, once you have your parties, how to get those additional bookings. Okay. Do you guys have any questions at all about any of this information that I have shared? Or any of my directors on here have anything that they would like to add? Kayla's got a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll share something.
Christy, what did you say? Oh, Kayla, you do?
Yeah, Christy, is that you? Did she? Okay. Just as far as the launch list goes, I know just me personally, when I started, I had it and I filled it out, and I maybe contacted 2 people on it, and then it went into a binder and I didn't look at it. And I was probably 3 or 4 months into my business, which is where some of you guys are a little past that. I hit a little slump. It was the summer slump. It was my first summer, and Melody had called me up and she's like, "Hey, how's your summer look?" And I'm like, "Oh, I have nothing on my calendar. I don't know what to do. No one wants to book with me." And she just simply said, "Okay, so how many people have you contacted on your launch list?" And it hit me. I had this list of people that either I wrote down on it, or maybe I never even wrote down on it at all. And I hadn't even reached out to them yet. In my mind, I had done some parties and that was it. So no one else wanted to do a show with me. So it doesn't matter what, like she said, what point of your business you are in. Sometimes if you just go back and you write down names, just don't even think about it, and you make a list, you'd be really surprised who you come up with. And sometimes it's the ones that would be, if you're putting them in an A group and a B group and a C group, you'd be surprised how many of those C groupers, those people that you never talk to, those are the ones that seem to do parties with you. So, don't shy away from it. It's when you, like Melody said, when you take yourself out of the equation and you think about the benefits of what made you host in the first place, or what made you become a consultant, and the fact that you not contacting them is keeping them from that, you realize that the only thing that's making you stop from contacting them is yourself. And if you just take yourself out of that equation, it becomes a completely different ballgame. And that's all I'll say on that matter.
Thanks, Kayla, for sharing that. Appreciate that. Anyone else have anything that they'd like to add, or any other questions that you guys have at all?
Melody?
Yes.
I wanted to say, I know a lot of them get frustrated. All of us do, when you have a bad party or a party that doesn't get anything because, maybe the host isn't there or whatever. But I went through my summer, because I had a lot of 0 shows this summer where the host just wasn't being active or whatever. And I went back to those when you guys were all telling us, because I've never been through any of this neither. This is my first year, so I had never been through a summer, and I haven't been through the holiday season or anything. But when everybody was saying, okay, holidays are the ones that kick butt, so go out there, I went back to a lot of my 0 parties and told them, listen, I know summer was rough, but I hear that, people are shopping, and I had a lot of them sign back up. And I know one of the ones that was so, what I want to say, just, she was like, nobody's going to buy. And her summer party, just nothing. She just got done with an $800 party. So go back and hit those ones up that may not have done so well, because it can be a lot better the second time around.
I love that idea, Christy, and I think you should share that on our team page. If you'll share that success, I think that's a great idea because we all know that we've had those 0 parties. And going into the fall, that is a very true statement that they really could have more, better success now with it rather than the summer slump. So I think that's a great idea. And Christy, if you would share that on our team page, I know that there's some other people that could really benefit from that bit of advice.
Okay.
So thanks for sharing that. Anyone else? All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you being on this call. And I will post when I'm going to be sharing the other ones, but go ahead and, send me your email so I can send you that information, and then comment on that Crushing It Virtually so you can really not just have parties, but make your party successful. That's our goal is, that you can get more bookings from the parties that you do, that you can, oh, look at you. Kayla just said she sent it to all of you, so I didn't have to. Thank you, Kayla. So, I appreciate that. So, because our goal is not just, to get the bookings on the calendar, but also to get more bookings and to have more success, So going through that Crushing It Virtually, and if you have questions as you're going through it, reach out, and let us know. But I think that will really help your business a lot. So thank you guys for being on here, and I really do appreciate you, trying to, jumpstart your business or get things going and helping yourself be successful. So, and thank you, Kayla and Christy, for being on here as well. So stay tuned for call 2 through 4. So, all right, guys, I will talk to you later.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.